Our false identity is achieved and our true identity is received. Let me say that again. Our false identity is achieved and our true identity is received. Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Eniola. And as you can tell by the title, we are going to end that cycle of people pleasing. It's harder than it sounds to just stop people pleasing, but I'm telling you, I am a former D1 people pleaser. That's all I did, literally throughout high school, even throughout my freshman year of college too. I would just people please because it was easier to do that than actually being myself. And I feel like people pleasing comes not only from desperation of wanting friends or wanting to have this own persona of what you want to be, but it's also just a very comfortable place to be at without expecting someone to disagree with you and the fear of rejection from someone else. So yeah, I got a whole lot of notes about this, so let's get started. Okay. I have been wanting to make this video for a very long time, and I feel like I didn't realize that now will be the right time to make this video until literally last night. So let's get started. The first thing that you want to realize, now that you know that you're a people pleaser, and there is something, I'm not gonna sit here and just say that there's nothing wrong with that, because there is something wrong with that, and this can be very detrimental in your future as you become a young adult, as you go through your career, as you make new friends, meet new relationships. You don't want to be people pleasing as like in your mid-20s. I'm just saying that right now. So the first thing I'm going to say is that accept that not everybody is gonna like you, and that is perfectly fine. And just coming to the realization that everybody's not gonna like you is the first steps to not people pleasing. And I think that just accepting that fact is so important, because if you have this idea that no matter what you do, everybody's gonna be cool with it, everybody's gonna be chill with it, that's not how the world works. And we have to come back to reality and know that everyone's not gonna have the same opinion. You can't please everyone. You just can't. It's literally impossible. And it's good to have people that you disagree with solely on the fact that you're not trying to be like your friends. You're not trying to follow the crowd because it's something that you're comfortable with. And throughout this video, I'm just gonna share my past experiences and how that kind of conflicted with what I became and finding my own identity. And I just think that if you're trying to please everyone all the time, you don't know yourself. You don't have your own persona. You don't have your own personality or identity for yourself. And that's not good at all, because you're using the whole world to identify yourself when you can't even do that for yourself, especially when you're trying to meet new people. Like, imagine if everyone in the world was the same, had the same ideas, the same morals. Everything's not gonna be okay. Everything's not gonna be like all rainbows and butterfly. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So just accepting the fact that everybody's not gonna like you, some random person might have beef with you, someone may not agree on the same terms as you. Just realizing that can be very important and will really help you make these next steps to stop being a people pleaser. The next thing is figure out who you are. What are your values? What are your morals? What do you agree on? What do you disagree on? What do you want to see in a friendship or relationship? What do you want to see in other people or like people that you meet? And whenever you think about that, don't think of how that person is going to reciprocate it, or don't think about, oh, if I think this certain way, would this person also think that certain way? It does not matter what the other person thinks. As long as you know what you want for yourself without thinking about how that other person could also want that, that's very important. And you just have to realize who you are. Find your own identity without seeing it through someone else's eyes. Okay? The next thing is be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I don't know how else to tell you, but you have to step out of your comfort zone to not be a people pleaser. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be odd. Like, you just have to do it. And you hear people say this all the time, like, be comfortable with being, you hear people, like, don't lie. You guys hear people say that all the time. And it's not easy. Like, you have to go through a different personality switch to learn more about yourself. And throughout high school, I just did not know who I was without my friends, or what I believe in myself, or what purpose I have without thinking about other people. And once you come to college, it's so different because you're on your own. Nobody's gonna be holding your hand, telling you, oh, this is right, this is wrong, or telling you that, like, oh, this is how you do this, or this is what I think should go. Nobody's gonna do that. So once you get here, you're gonna have all these different people talking in your ear, telling you all the different things that you can do, and you're gonna be confused, and you're gonna be burnt out and stressed out because you don't know how to appeal to yourself and not other people. So what was the topic again? So just knowing that you're going to have to do something out of your comfort zone, whether it be talk to a random person or trying a new activity without your friends there or something. Like, you have to be comfortable with that. And that's how life is. It's not going to be easy. Like, this whole process of finding your personality and identity is not easy at all. Like, people, like, it's easier said than done. That's what people say. But, like, it's really not easy. The next thing I would say is set boundaries. Oh my gosh, this is so important. Set boundaries with your friends. Set boundaries with new relationships, and boundaries with your parents, your family. You have to set those boundaries, because if someone crosses it and you're not okay with it, at the time you're gonna say that you're fine with it, or you're gonna say that it doesn't matter because you never set those boundaries in the first place. So setting boundaries is super important. And when I say set boundaries, if your friend does something that you're uncomfortable with, you gotta tell them. Like, and I'm just realizing this, like, literally a couple months ago. You gotta tell them, and you gotta say that, like, oh, that was kind of weird, or something like that. And obviously, if it's your friend, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be very hard. But setting boundaries for yourself just shows how much you're not willing to take the next extra step to make sure they're more comfortable than you are. So yeah, just set boundaries and just stand your ground. So yeah, if you want something, go for it. If you know that if you don't want to do something, don't do it. It's your life. I feel like we forget we have free will to do whatever we want. So yeah, just set boundaries. The next thing, oh my goodness, this is another one that I did all the time. Stop apologizing. Stop saying sorry. Just stop being sorry for being yourself. I remember in high school, I would always say, oh, sorry. Like, what are you sorry for? I hate whenever people apologize for literally everything. Like, oh, like, especially whenever you're meeting someone new, you're like, oh, sorry, can I say, like, why? You're already setting yourself low before you even have a conversation. Okay, so just stop apologizing. There's nothing to be sorry for. The only thing you should be sorry for is if you do something that's, like, inconvenient to someone else, or, like, you just, not even inconvenient. The only reason you should say sorry is if you did something really bad and you're actually sorry for it. You should not be saying you're sorry for talking to someone, or you're sorry for doing something, okay? So yeah, stop apologizing. The next thing is, it kind of goes hand in hand with what I said earlier, but realizing that everyone is not the same. Everyone's not gonna have the same personality. Everyone's not gonna have the same motives. Everyone's different here. And I kind of talked about that earlier too. And then one of the last things I'm going to talk about as I wrap up the video is that embracing your imperfections. You're supposed to make mistakes. You're not supposed to be perfect. Like, everything's not supposed to go your way. I'm sorry, but that's just not how life works. Everything doesn't go your way. Everything doesn't happen when you want it to happen, okay? So embracing the mistakes that you make to learn about how you can use that in your future, or how you can use that later to not make the same mistakes, is very fundamental in learning how to grow. And just knowing that you're not perfect, and being a perfectionist is gonna hurt you at the end of the road. Being a perfectionist is pleasing other people through avoiding your mistakes. Does that even make any sense? I don't know. But just make sure that you're being your authentic self. Like, if people don't like it, oh well. There's so many people in this world that aren't gonna like what you do. And especially if it's making a mistake that you realize that, oh, I don't think I was supposed to do that or anything. But that's just a point of life. We're not all perfect. We all make mistakes. And yeah, just being yourself throughout that way is very, very nice. And the last thing is something that was talked about in my church. Our false identity. Let me put it right there. Our false identity is achieved and our true identity is received. Let me say that again. Our false identity is achieved and our true identity is received. Now let's break this apart a little bit. Our false identity is achieved. Other people achieve our identity through how we put it out to them. And our true identity will be received by the people who are willing to stay in our life, or the people that accept us for who we truly are. So basically, be yourself. If people don't like you, they don't like you. Being a people pleaser, it's very comfortable. It's very nice to people please, because at the end of the day, everyone gets what they want. So yeah, if you're if you're being a people pleaser to someone, they're happy. If they don't know your true identity, you're happy. So it's a very comfortable state to be in, but in the long run, it's just not worth it, because you feel like you can't be yourself around anyone, or you're too shy or too scared that people are going to realize that you're not who you say you are. And at the end of the day, you're being fake to other people. So yeah, and I just think it's so important to learn this earlier on, because once you get to like adulthood, it's very hard to know who you are, because you're growing, you're changing, and you're hearing all this little things in the society, and you're confused about who you really are. So yeah, I think it's time, before 2025 starts, it's time to stop people pleasing, and I think it's for the best. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments about people pleasing, or you are just confused and finding your personality or identity now that you're just not living for other people, leave a comment down below. We're gonna have a little girl talk therapy sesh, and we can just talk about it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.